Damn, I don't got shades, man.
It's okay.
It's okay. Alrighty. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. I'm with the boys, Xavier and Nicholas. Guys, today we're going to be previewing UFC London Fight Night, Edwards versus Brady. We got a new opponent for Leon. It originally was JDM. Sean Brady steps in about a month's notice or so. Big stylistic change up for Rocky, but Leon back at home in the O2 Arena in London, fighting at a normal time, not 5 in the morning UK time. Guys, this is a banger fight. I do prefer the JDM fight. Like JDM's definitely more of a prevalent prospect at 170, but hey, Sean Brady is climbing, so he deserves this fight. What are your guys' thoughts on this the replacement fight here?
You can start, Clark.
Uh, I love it because I think it's gonna be a way more competitive fight. Uh, I think Leon honestly had a path to beating JDM. Our good friend Ed disagrees and thinks he's gonna beat Bilal, but I have my reasons for why JDM about to get exposed by that man. But back on this fight, like I just really love the stylistic matchup, especially since uh Bilal took on a very dominant wrestler last time out. So, it's time to put up or shut up. He's got to stuff these takedowns. He's got to show up and just throw, man. Like, that's why Pereira just lost the title. All that man had to do was throw a leg kick. He beat Goliath out there. So, that's all you got to do. Just stuff the takedowns. Leon's usually a pretty good takedown defense guy. So I think this is a very close fight overall. I think this is a game time decision for me, low key, but I would lean Leon Edwards because I mean, even though he lost and it was in a bad way, there's no way you can deny that he just won 12 straight fights right before that. And that's what people were saying about my boy Oliveira after Islam beat him. Islam Makhachev, number one pound for pound. Charles is no good anymore. Dariush, old Dariush, slow Dariush. Y'all thought he was gonna beat him. Ed was so confident in that,
I was.
and he slept that man. So all I'm saying is, Leon's like levels above what Sean Brady's been fighting, in my opinion. And he looked good on the feet in the Burns fight, but I feel like Burns is kind of, aging out of the UFC, unfortunately. But I love the fight though. I think it's very competitive and a close one.
Yeah. I might have to agree with you that Burns is kind of unfortunately getting to that point where like a win over him, while impressive, of course, it's not maybe as impressive as it was like 3 years ago. Um, no disrespect, it just happens to everyone in this game. But I would say this is a much more difficult stylistic matchup for Leon. I agree with you on that. Um, had I not seen like his last performance, literally, I would have picked him to win this fight 9 times out of 10. It really is only a testament to just how bad that performance was that I'm even mulling this over. Um, when we started this podcast, I was kind of like almost like thinking, do I lean Brady on this one? But then, like you said, um, he looked so bad in that fight against Bilal. Um, I could see a version where like even Leon's best isn't needed to beat Sean Brady. You know what I mean? So I don't need him to go back to peak Usman 3 fight Leon, but like if he could just be like somewhere in the middle between prime Leon and that last fight, I still think he should be able to do enough to like beat Brady. I think that based on how ass he looked on his takedown defense and like just how little grit he had in his last fight. I have to predict that Brady's gonna be able to get him down some of these rounds. But hopefully he should be able to get back up, and do so and actually throw when he's on the feet, which is the biggest thing that he did not do against Bilal. Actually throw when you were actually on the feet. I'm gonna tentatively on a Jalen Turner contract type shit. Like he's on Jalen Turner watch on some like how the last fight we were like he gets one last chance. This is Leon's last chance to look at least competent. He doesn't have to win, but he has to at least show me better than he did in his last fight. If one more performance like that, I'm throwing him in the trash, man. I'm saying he's washed. I don't know what happened, but maybe he's off the UK roids, bro. I don't know, but that last year was unacceptable, and I believe in this guy. So I'm gonna take him one last time on a Jalen Turner contract, tentatively to either. I mean, at his best, I think he could finish Brady. I think he can catch him, but like right now, I'm gonna predict, you know, win by one round, 3-2, by decision.
Yeah, I'm definitely leaning Edwards here. I agree with you guys. This is a harder stylistic matchup than JDM, but I truly believe JDM is just a much better fighter and a more dangerous fighter than Sean Brady. The reason I say that, man, if Leon and JDM just stood for 5 rounds, I know Leon would mix into wrestling, but I hate to say it, Leon's been chinned a little bit. Like he got chinned by Nate Diaz. JDM throws like 1,000 punches around. I could totally see him catching Leon, but the reason I like this matchup a lot more for Leon is he has fought this exact same build of fighter. He's been preparing for that the last 5 years of his career, but the difference is this is by far the worst version of the amazing wrestler with good boxing. Kamaru Usman, top what 2 pound for pound. Colby Covington, I know he didn't show up. He looked terrible, but going into that, Colby, Colby was Colby. And Bilal Muhammad, say what you want about him, but he's on an insane streak, even if the wins aren't super impressive. Sean Brady, look at his UFC resume, man. He beat Kelvin Gastelum. He beat Michael Chiesa. He got knocked out by Bilal Muhammad. Leon looked shit, but he didn't get finished by Bilal. And then his most recent win, you guys already touched on it, the Burns win. Like, yeah, he beat him over in a 5 round decision in the Apex. It was cool. I think Leon, yeah, if he shows out, man, this should be an easy win for him. I see a dominant decision or a finish low key at home. I feel like Leon is reinvigorated. Sean Brady is also coming in early. He's super short and stocky, so I feel like Leon's gonna light him up, man. I got Leon Edwards by fourth round
Yeah,
TKO.
TKO. Ah!
Fourth round, three or fourth round, third or fourth round TKO, man. Dude, Sean Brady is terrible on the feet. He is terrible, bro. He was having like a scrap with Michael Chiesa. His wrestling is amazing. His pacing is amazing. But like I said, Leon's been there, done that, man. And X, you really touched on it. This is literally do or die for Leon. He is only 32, and like Clark said, he's coming off a massive win streak, and he loses to Bilal Muhammad, who is amazing. We got to give it to him. But man, losing to Sean Brady at home, this is going to take you way out of the title picture for a while. So
I need to see if Bilal's amazing, man, in this next fight because I don't know. Leon looks so shit in that fight. I don't know if I can crown him amazing. Yeah, but he is a good fighter.
I mean, it's just the win streak. It's like you
I
can't
feel.
deny Bilal.
I was hearing a lot there. Oh man.
Well,
Okay. I mean, so this is not a tougher fight though, Ed. Like
no, I don't think.
stylistically.
No, like I said, stylistically, I get what you're saying, but I think JDM is such a better fighter that the stylistic like matchup, it doesn't matter.
I feel you on that, but JDM's crutches, he can get taken down at any moment. That's what I would do if I was Leon, just spam those.
But I just feel like Leon's not that type of guy like Gilbert Burns to just spam takedowns, even though he can get a nice takedown.
But he's a clean striker. He can strike with JDM. I don't
That's
think
true.
much of problems.
I mean, I would pick Leon versus both of them, but I'm definitely more confident versus Brady than JDM.
Okay, what if Brady and JDM fought though?
JDM would knock his ass out.
You think?
I think so. Yeah. I'm not even like
What about
trying to be
three
funny.
on?
I'd pick JDM.
I don't know, man. Like, I like JDM's boxing, but that man cannot stuff anything.
I just don't see it, and I've never seen it in Sean Brady. I've never been like a believer in him. All the other guys like Buckley, and JDM, Shavkat,
I
all those
I
guys
I believe in Sean Brady more than I believe in Buckley. I'm just gonna go on record and say that
more than who?
Buckley.
I can't agree. I disagree. What do you think, Clark?
That's a close one. But I mean his boxing looked good against Burns, even though Burns is like getting up there in age. The boxing looked crisp. I think he's improving at least, you know.
No, he's not like bad.
I mean that key you're talking about fights that were like years ago now. Like that Bilal fight, what was that, 3 years ago?
Yeah,
I
something
mean,
like that.
it's just been a minute, that's all. I feel like he's improving there.
I
So
just hate how the whole argument is. I'm like, and I get it. It's just, will Leon show up? It's just, it sucks that we even have to question that. Like, oh, he just looked so soulless in his last performance. And he got
So
slammed on his forehead, like on top of his head. That was so embarrassing, bro. He needs to win. And he's back at home. Like, you can't lose this fight. You can't.
I'm just hoping that the O2 like it reinvigorates him rather than like put too much pressure that he just like folds, bro. That would be the worst thing. You fold, and like being at home makes it kind of worse. And then he gets in his head like, oh, it's happening again. He spirals, man. Maybe get subbed. I don't know, bro. Could be bad.
See, this is what I see happening. I see it being, Leon piecing him on the feet. Yeah, Brady gets some takedowns. He keeps taking Leon down a couple times, but Leon starts getting up in round 3 and 4. Like the arena's going fucking crazy, and Leon starts teeing off on him, bro. I'm telling you,
it's gonna be a
guys.
close fight. I got Leon winning. I'm actually confident Leon's gonna win, but I think it's gonna be like a 3 rounds to 2 situation.
Okay.
Brady's tough, man. That Bilal fight, that was like I mean, it's his only L. It's literally his only loss. So, I mean, he's definitely tough.
But yeah, this
And
regardless.
and that's like a horrible matchup for him on paper. Now that we know.
Also, Leon has to prove that like it's the same exact fighter. You have to improve. Like there's no excuses here.
I thought he was improved after fighting Usman three fucking times, but I guess not.
I mean,
No,
Ed, he's
dude.
like losing all those fights, by the way, to that style. And we can't even.
But Usman a beast though. Come on, Usman
Well,
like
he
a
was
different level of physicality than like Sean Brady.
definitely that like the second fight. Yeah, Leon was down 4-1 easily, but like the third fight, he beat him.
We're not counting. Yeah, he did, and that was nice. We watched
Usman almost didn't even wrestle that fight though, for real, if we remember correctly.
exactly, but we're not counting that Colby fight. Are you kidding me?
I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
Colby
we
looked terrible.
we
I'm
we
not gonna.
definitely yeah, that was the worst Kobe I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but yeah, at plus money, I'm for sure. I mean, I'm gonna take the champ,
Easy, easy.
but
I have to.
literally do or die. Let's move on though, guys. Co-main event. This is a banger too. Like this is a sick fight. I like that in light heavyweight, we're not talking about Yuri, Jamal Hill, Pereira, Uncle Ive. We're kind of outside of that circle here. A rising contender, Carlos Olberg, minus 225 versus number 3, Jan Blachowicz, coming back after a very long layoff. Last fight was in 2023.
Not only is he a rising contender, but he's really that division's like only real young up and comer for real. So it's
No,
like this is a really big fight for like the momentum of that division going forward, I would say.
um, I'll just get this out of the way. I think in his prime, I would 100% take Jan, especially if it was a 5 round fight. And I was talking about taking Jan, but he is really old, coming off a really long layoff. And before that layoff, I don't know if you guys remember, he hurt his leg really bad, so he's coming off a bunch of layoffs.
Oh, against who? Who did he hurt his leg
Oh no,
against?
no, 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 no. He Rakic hurt his leg against him.
Oh,
My bad.
oh,
My
okay.
bad.
All right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Got you.
But still, yeah, he is coming off, I think, a some sort of surgery, and he's 42. So, Clark, why don't you start here? Because I know you're really high on Olberg.
Oh yeah, man, he's on my squad. We're about to get more points this weekend, man. I think I respect Jan, second half career comeback kind of guy, just like my guy Oliveira. So I can respect what he did, but 42 now. I think he's like, what is he like, 1-3 in his last four, something of that nature.
I can check.
You know, he fought decently against Uncle Iev. I was impressed by that performance, but I don't know, man. Ever since that fight, I feel like he's gone downhill. The punches feel a lot less crisp. They don't feel like it just doesn't feel like has as much pop as he used to. And I think that comes with age. And against someone like Olberg who's coming up, who's old himself, I mean, he's like 35, I think, right?
Yeah, like division has no prospects.
Like he's like 30,
Wait. Oberg old?
Let me
he's
look it
like
up.
34. I mean, he's not that young.
Yeah, he's
Gee.
34. He's 34.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's do or die for his ass now, huh?
No, but that means he should be just in his prime right now, and I believe it based on what
I
I'm
mean,
seeing.
it's also like if we're being honest, like light heavyweight's a division where you can like they're pretty old, I would say. Like, you know what I mean? You can get away being pretty old up there right now.
True.
Yeah, but I just feel like Olberg is gonna be too crisp. He's gonna be the faster fighter. He's gonna be the bigger fighter as well. I feel like if Jan's only chance is if he can mix in some takedowns. I don't think Olberg would expect that. I think he can win the fight, but if it's standing the whole time, I think Olberg can find the TKO in that fight.
The one thing I disagree with you on is that Oberg wouldn't be expecting the takedown. I think that he would be expecting the takedown, man. Like you said, at this point, like I think that Oberg even is faster probably with his striking than even Prime Yan. Um, Not by as much as currently, but I still think he is. With a lot less power, but like still. But I think that currently, I think that it's no secret that like Jan has been kind of going to his wrestling more recently as he got older, which a lot of fighters do. Just because it's easier, like once your reflexes kind of slow down a little bit to just be like, let me get a hold of you. And plus, these fuckers have like old man strength, which is like very real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I do think that Jan might have a lot of that old man strength. And I think that if he can get Ulberg down early and kind of sap that gas tank, he could make this interesting. Ulberg though fights good going backwards. I could kind of envision catching Young coming in a good amount. Um, and I think that it might be a little reminiscent of Stipe John, and that like Jan might just like clearly look like a diminished version of himself a little bit in there. Like at such a clear speed disadvantage that if he can't get the takedown, I could see Oberg maybe finishing him, catching it with something, maybe round two, round three. But if Jan can get the early takedown, I think that he has a good chance of eking out this decision. Maybe pressing Oberg against the cage for half a round, and then I don't know, man. Just if Jan wins, it's gonna be shameless. I'll put it that way. You know what I mean? It's gonna be shameless. It's gonna be not very entertaining for the fans.
A lot like the Pereira fight, maybe. A lot of holding.
A lot of holding, a lot of he's just not as strong as Jan. He can't get free type shit. Or maybe I do think that like Jan cannot win only fighting that way. Like he is gonna need to get Oberg down to like sap some of the explosivity out of him. If it's on the feet, even like in the clinch, I think Uber can maybe find some knees, find some elbows, and separate. I mean, city kickboxing is good at like, having a good game plan to avoid something like that. So I trust Eugene Behrman to like have him ready to not just get clinched up the whole time. So give me Ulberg by I hate to say it, man. Third round TKO. Ulberg third round TKO, man.
This is definitely a game time decision bet for me. The odds with Jan too are just really enticing. I think this fight goes the distance no matter what.
He's 42, right?
I know that's the thing. That's like what's really getting me in the layoff, but like he hasn't looked terrible in his last couple of fights, and it's been against really good competition. And Olberg has not fought anyone that crazy. But I gotta take the young gun here slightly. I'm gonna lean Olberg by 29-28 decision. And he needs this fight. Like the light heavyweight division needs this win also.
Yeah, I more so favor the decision, but like, in my mind, I just can't shake a vision of him just kind of not chinning him, putting him out completely, but chinning him and like where it's just he's just kind of on rocky legs, and they kind of just save him, save a veteran from himself, kind of deal. Don't let him go out on his shield. He probably might complain even, but I just kind of feel like a little. Plus, I think like for the fans, I think that like they might just like wanna like build up Ulberg a little bit, kind of like you said, like they're ready to sacrifice anybody to this new gen. They want new stars, and I think that they might just like a slightly early stoppage might be in the works for sure. Like it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. Uh, Speaking of veterans, guys, let's move on to the featured fight. We got Gunnar Nelson versus Kevin Holland. I don't even. When's the last time Gunnar Nelson fought? Let me see real
Years
quick.
ago, years ago.
Yeah, against Barberina in London in 2023, taking on Kevin Holland, who fights like every other month. Guys, this is the fight to hop back on the Kevin Holland hype train. I'm telling you. First of all, he's not a middleweight, bro. He's just too small. He's better at welterweight. Gunnar Nelson, he's really old. He doesn't fight anymore. I know Kevin Holland's been like kind of the clown of the MMA community, but this is a super winnable fight in my opinion. If he tries, he's much better on the feet. I think he has a decent ground game. And Gunnar Nelson, like I said, he's just so old. He doesn't fight at all. Time to hop back on the Holland hype train.
I will start with this. It has been a long time since Gunnar Nelson fight. I don't know how old he is, but he's got to be getting up there. He's probably like 37, right? At least. Um, a lot of inactivity and like you said, his last fight was against Barberena, where and while Barberena used to be scrappy, I think that Kevin Holland would beat a Brian Barberena. Um, so we have to at least acknowledge that. Um, but it must just be said, Kevin Holland just seems to refuse to give a fuck about grappling, man. He just seems to refuse to give a fuck about fighting in general.
Yeah.
I think he's just very comfortable collecting these checks, fighting all the time. And I just really question like what motivation he has. If I knew that he would give one monicum of a fuck about his takedown defense and or his submission defense for this fight, if he can give me like 2 weeks of solid training in just that department, I would take him easily to chin Gunnar Nelson in this fight because Gunnar Nelson coming in older, off a fat layoff, and like you said, Kevin Holland wins losses. He fights all the time. It's kind of nothing to him in there. I bet he's really comfortable. I can see Gunnar Nelson coming in with some nerves, coming in a little slower, coming in a little less, a little more chinny. Um, and while he's never been the most chinny guy, I mean, he's been clipped in the past, so like it's not like he has some iron chin here. Like every bone in my body wants to take Kevin Holland as an underdog here, but I can't like 100% put my faith in this man at all after the things I've seen, the egregious atrocities in the grappling department I've seen off of him, and in the department of just general care in there. Bro, I might have to pass out one last Jalen Turner contract tonight. This might be it, bro. If he loses to Gunnar Nelson, especially. If it's just by like getting immediately taken down and subbed in round one,
Oh, it's
like
over. It's over.
I can never back Holland again. But I'm gonna go with him one more time to maybe I can't even see him winning a decision here. Like I think if it goes to decision, that means Gunnar Nelson got way too much control time. So I have to back him to like maybe at some point chin Gunnar Nelson, man, or catch him with something, or just catch him with big moments at least because. So yeah, I'm gonna go Kevin Holland second round TKO, but like this is it for him, man. This is it for him.
This is it. Let's hear it, Clark.
I'm picking Gunnar Nelson, y'all.
I
I'm
can't blame
picking
you. I
Gunnar
cannot
Nelson.
blame you.
Um, I'll say this. He hasn't been fighting a lot, which is a little concerning, but I just feel like stylistically a bad matchup for Kevin Holland. I mean, Gunnar's not that old. He's like 36. He's up there, but I mean, I just feel like he has enough to take Kevin Holland down. And after what I saw DeRitter do to him, I just feel like Gunnar Nelson can do the exact same thing out there. And you know what? In 2019, he fought a split decision with Leon. You know what I mean? It's man Gunnar Nelson. So I'm just saying, man.
It's a while ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how long ago was that?
It was
2019.
yeah, yeah, a little bit ago. But I'm just saying,
What was Tony Ferguson doing back then?
He was on top of the world,
he,
bro.
That's what I'm saying, man. My point being, that was a lifetime ago. That's my point.
I mean, that was like right before he lost to Gaethje, though.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, so much can change in that time. Is my point. Like, we can't just we can't just pick a fight from back then against like even a worse Leon.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, I just feel like stylistically it's bad. If it stays on the feed, though, I feel like most of the time I think Kevin should win. I think he could win a decision. I don't know what Gunner's gas tank looks like at all right now, but I don't know, man. I just have a bit bad feeling he's just gonna take him down.
I can't. Yeah, I can't even really hate on that.
I do too. That's the thing. Like, when
Because
I
Gunner's like
I
a
really want to pick Nelson, but like if he was like a decent underdog, I might pick him. To be honest, it's
He,
that bad. But the fact that he's a favorite, I just don't see that. And like at underdog value, I have to believe in Holland, bro.
he- Here's something in the defense of Holland. His last couple losses, we got Rainer de Ritter, Roman Delite, MVP, JDM. Like those are really talented names. But the way he's losing some of these fights, man, like the Delite and de Ritter back-to-back losses were bad.
yeah. It's just the way he's losing them, man. And it's just like Gunnar Nelson also 13 of his wins by sub. I mean, he's an expert down there. Kevin, I mean, he's okay down there, but like every once in a while against a specialist, he'll get subbed up. So
Clark, I could see what you're saying, like on the ground, Gunnar Nelson's getting position, getting mount or whatever, and like the O2 arena is just going insane, and that he just taps Holland. I'm still picking Holland, but I could totally see what you're saying.
it's just that kind of vibe I'm getting about this fight. I'd usually pick Kevin here, but like I don't know. The DeRitter fight was like final nail in the coffin for me. It's just the way he lost. It
Yeah.
was just bad.
It's like no grit. He doesn't seem to care, and there's no improvements. Whereas like before, at least like I used to think him a solid grappler, and now if it hits the floor, he's liable to get subbed in my mind, just because like he doesn't seem to like really be defensively sound anymore.
Yeah.
I do think that there was a time that he trained more. I think what happened, honestly, like I think he came in the game, realized he had a very clear ceiling, and was like, rather than like be one of these guys who are like delusional about like their ability to be champ, I think he realized like, oh, I will never be champ because I can never bridge this much of a gap in the grappling. But rather than like double down and train harder and at least try, he just kind of like got more comfortable, like, okay, well, I'm gonna just put on fun fights and just, talk my shit, be entertaining, like, and settle into that Cowboy Cerrone type role. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, you're gonna be a company man, fight a bunch, but maybe to your own detriment. Maybe you're taking fights short notice. Maybe you're just hopping in there against anybody. And while like the UFC always needs a guy like that,
Mhm.
save cards, be on every fight night, be active, be a household name. It's like it does come at the detriment of like wins and losses, you know?
Yeah.
So
And I know you're not comparing them directly, like Cowboy and Holland, but like Cowboy, even when he was losing some of the fights, he was so beloved by the fans, and he had a much higher peak than Holland. Holland lately has been really unlikable, like online. I don't know if you guys been seeing interviews and stuff. He's just been a weirdo. He's so not he like he clearly shows you that he doesn't care.
exactly, and I just hate that, to be
Like,
honest.
and oh, dude, I keep going back to it. When he was coming up, man, that knockout over Jacare Souza, one of my favorite knockouts of all time.
He sparked buzz.
Coolest knockout ever.
He
Yeah, that
sparked
too.
like, come on, man.
But it is what it is. Anything else
Jalen
you guys want to touch on this card?
Jalen Turner contract, man. Like, I'm telling you, this is his last chance.
This is the
But
last chance.
Hunter Nelson saw round one, man. I can
I,
just see it
I
already.
bet that's good money,
You
man.
know what? Bet the under 1.5. I'm actually confident that hits.
1.5.
Either way, I think, ooh, or maybe a little nice bet of like, that might be like a big favorite, but either Gunnar Nelson by sub or Holland by TKO option.
Yeah, that seems pretty safe. Like those are like, yeah, the two things I'd see.
yeah, those are the big ones, man. We could talk about this Molly McCann fight, man. Like Meatball Molly out here doing the damn thing again, man.
I just don't know anything about her opponent.
I've seen Thayanara fights.
It's 1-0 in the UFC.
Yeah, I've seen that one fight, but I don't know enough about her game to like firmly predict. I will just say this, man. She is Brazilian, and just off that fact, Molly McCann better keep this shit on the feet because her ground game is not Patty's. I will tell you that right now.
Not
Um,
not at all. The meatball.
I would imagine that they're probably that Thayanara is probably a favorable matchup for her because like they're trying to do this for the UK people. Um, you know what the UK people want from Molly McCann. They want her to fucking have to get a win, but like based on what I've been seeing, man, if this girl Thayanara has any grappling, man, she could be cooked. So I'm gonna predict Meatball Molly, gets a good performance out there, but. I don't know, man. You never know with her, man. She has such a low ceiling, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about it for this card for me.
Yeah, there's some fun fights sprinkled in here, but a little top heavy. Fights in London are always really fun. I think it's a great atmosphere.
The crowd should be lit. I expect like a lot of bangers throughout this card.
Yeah, definitely.
Card will be good.
Outro.
All right, really quickly, guys, give me a performance of the night and a fight of the night bonus. Hand them out.
Mm,
We said fight of the night.
And performance of the night.
Oof. I mean, fight of the night gotta be Leon Sean Brady, man. Just because they're gonna have 5 rounds to like. I think when a fight goes 5 rounds, the chances of it getting fight of the night is higher. Just because like once people start gassing out more so. Like after a long fight, more interesting shit starts happening. So I'm gonna give them fight of the night. And then performance of the night, I'm gonna give it to hmm. I'm gonna I guess I have to give it to Olberg, man. I can just see it if he chins Jan, like the number 3 guy in the world, they're gonna have to give it to him, man. I can kind of see him kind of making Jan just look slow out there and maybe catching him, man. I'm gonna say Orbo gets the performance bonus.
mm. I'm gonna go fight of the night, Nathaniel Wood, Morgan Charrier. I think that'll just be
Banger.
like, yeah, I think that'll just be like a good scrap, a lot of punches. I don't know if it'll last the whole three, but we'll see. Performance of the night, I'm also going Olberg. I think he goes out there and whoops Jan's ass.
Shit.
I think he whoops him. Gets the TKO somewhere in the second, third round. area, but yeah, I think over gets that.
All right. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this Edwards versus Brady preview card. Should be fun. We're gonna have more stuff coming out later this week. Please check out the TikTok. Leave a comment. It means a lot to us, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Peace.
Yeah.